Good morning, students. Just look at this image. Here, two characters, as already described in the last class only. One is the speaker, young man, who is very progressive in his ideas. And the second one is the old farmer, a person who is very conservative, a person who doesn't want any change. He doesn't want to change the society. He wants to accept the society as it is. Here two people, they are very busy mainly repairing the wall, mending the wall. And here, even though the speaker, he doesn't want to repair the wall, even though he doesn't want the wall, he wants wall to be collapsed, still out of concern he wants to help the old man, old farmer, who mainly believes good fences make good neighbors. Thus, here two people who are very busy in repairing the wall which is of a stone wall. Okay, now we will move to the poem. First, I will read at least a few lines. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swell under it and spills the upper boulders in the sun and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. The work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair where they have left not one stone on a stone, but they would have the rabbit out of hiding to please the helping dogs. The gaps, I mean, no one has seen them made or heard them made, but at spring mending time we find them there. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go, to each the boulders that are fallen to each, and some are lows and some are so nearly balls. We have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. We wear our fingers rough with handling them. Oh, just another kind of outdoor game, one on a side. It comes to little more there where it is we do not need the wall. He's all pine and I'm apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his pines. I tell him. He only says, good fences make good neighbors. Okay, first we will just go on analyzing only a few first four or three lines. First, look at the first four lines of this poem. Something there is that doesn't love a wall. Here, something means some force, some power, or we may take it as God or nature itself. So, here something, that is some force or nature or God itself. It doesn't love a wall, so it just to destroy the wall, just to collapse the wall, that power or that force or nature, it sends the frozen ground swell under it. So because of since the nature or force, it doesn't love the wall, it wants to collapse or destroy the wall, it mainly causes the earth to quake, to shake. And whenever the earth quakes and whenever the earth shakes, what happens? The building or the wall, the man, especially man-made things, artificial things, they are going to be destroyed. Some damages going to occur. So in the same way, here that is that in the that wall where two people are busy repairing the or mending the wall, some gaps already have been made, some damages have occurred, and both the characters, they are very busy mainly repairing or mending the wall. First, the poet, he gives the reason who is responsible or what is responsible for the damages, for the gaps which have been made mainly in that wall. So first thing the poet assumes, or the speaker assumes, or the speaker imagines, thinks that that nature or force which doesn't love a wall, it itself has sent the quake, or it has caused the earth to shake or quake. So because of that quake in the earth, because of the shaking tremor in the earth, some stones out of that wall, they have fallen down, they have broken down, so some gaps have been made, and spills the upper boulders in the sun. Boulders means large rocks. And at the same time, whenever because of the too much heat of the sun, some rocks, especially rocks at the first layer, they are going to be heated and they are going to fall down. Thus, by the quaking or shaking of the earth, and also because of the too much heat of the sun, some stones they have fallen down, some stones have broken down, so the gaps in that wall have been made, and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. So the gap, it is so big that two people they can pass side by side very easily. Abreast means side by side. So because of that gap in that wall, or because of the damages in that wall, the gap or the gaps so big that two people can pass side by side easily. So that is one point, one reason, or no, that is one reason for the gap, for the destruction of the wall. And poet or the speaker, he also gives one more reason, that is, he is not sure whether by nature itself the gaps have been made, or by the hunters, by the human beings itself. So he gives another possibility, the second possibility for the gaps in that wall. It is, the work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair, where they have left not one stone on a stone, but they would have the rabbit out of hiding to please the yelping dogs. Usually the hunters, so whenever they go to the forest, enter the forest for hunting, they are followed by the yelping dogs, they are followed by the hunting dogs. So just to, and the work of hunters is another thing. The speaker, he mainly thinks maybe the gaps have been made by the hunter. The possibility is there, the hunters have become responsible for the damages, for the gaps in that wall. So these hunters, whenever they go to the forest for hunting with their dogs, just to feed the dogs, just to feed the food to the dogs, they try to remove the rabbit out of hiding. And these rabbits, usually they are hiding in that wall. So just to remove the rabbit out of their hiding place in that wall, in that compound wall, they have to remove other stones so that they can easily remove the rabbit. That is, they know rabbits, they are hiding in a small hole, but to remove, to get the rabbit out, they have to try to remove the rabbit out of hiding. Just they have to that is they have to remove other rocks just to please their dogs, just to feed their dogs. So by that also the gaps have been made. So in the next lines, the poet speaker, he mainly says he is not sure how the gaps have been made, but every year the gaps, they are going to be created, and both the neighbors, speaker and farmer, especially during spring season, they both meet each other to repair the wall. The gaps, I mean, No one has seen them made or heard them made. So nobody is sure who has made the gaps, whether by nature itself or by the hunters, but the gaps have been made. But at spring mending time, we find them there. We, in the sense, both the characters, one is speaker and another one is the old farmer. So though they both do not know who has made the gaps, but during spring season, both of them they meet each other to repair, to mend the wall. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and one minute. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line. Walk the line means boundary line. Both are walking or both are standing in their respective field, in the respective place. So, walking in their boundary line of their field. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line and set the wall between us once again. And thus, now both the farmers, both the neighbors, during spring season, they every year during spring season, beginning of spring season, they do meet each other mainly to repair the wall, mainly to put the wall in a proper condition, to keep the wall in a proper condition. We both of them keep the wall, they both try to keep the wall in a proper condition, in a good condition, so that there should be no more trespasser, there should be no more entry of animals or outsiders. And to each the boulders that are fallen to each, and some are lows and some are so nearly balls. We have to use a spell to make them balance. But one more problem here of rocks, they are not of same size. That is, some boulders, some rocks, suppose they, if they are in a loaves, size of a loaves means loaf, that is a bread slice, that is square in the size. So some boulders, some rocks, they are square in size, but others they are of balls, round. So here the rocks, they are not of same size, they do vary. The size of the rocks, the size of the boulders vary from one stone to another. So it is very difficult to maintain the balance. Suppose all the stones they are of a same size, very easily we can keep one by one very neatly, so that there is no chance of breaking down. But here problem it is that the stones, they do, the size of the stones vary from one to another. Suppose some are of square, others they are balanced. So it is very difficult for both neighbors to to maintain the balance of the stone. It is very difficult for them to keep the balance. So the speaker he mainly says we have to use a spell. Spell means magic. So we have to use a spell to make them balance. Since the rocks they are of not same size, it is very difficult to balance the stones. So he mainly says we have to use the spell, we have to use the magic. Otherwise, definitely the stones, the wall again it is going to be broken down, fall down. So that is he by using the spell magic, he wants the to mainly maintain the balance. And also the speaker he wants to order or request the stones or walls, stay where you are until our backs are turned. Mainly because he mainly at least until unless both of them they are there, the speaker wants the rocks they should be in a proper order. That is until their backs are turned, until they are go out of that place. the stones should be in a proper condition, the wall should be in a proper condition. Otherwise, suppose the when they both are mending the wall or keeping the stones one by one, at that time if the stones they do fall down, once again they have to repair it. But the poet or the speaker, he doesn't want the wall. He wants wall to be collapsed. He wants a wall to be destroyed. So he mainly says, okay, when we go out of that place, out of that site, at that time if the wall going to be collapsed, he doesn't bother, he doesn't worry, and still he is busy in helping, or he is busy in repairing the wall. That is mainly because of his concern to the old man. Otherwise, suppose the speaker, he doesn't want to repair the wall, and if he doesn't come to that place, definitely the farmer himself, old farmer himself, he alone can do each and every work all alone. So out of concern, even though the speaker, he doesn't want to repair the wall, he wants wall to be collapsed, fence, compound wall or fence to be collapsed, still he wants to help the old man out of concern or maybe out of sympathy. So he requests or orders the stone, the wall, stay where you are, at least our backs are turned. After that, okay, if you are going to be collapsed, no problem at all. We wear our fingers rough with handling them, or just another kind of outdoor game, one on a side. And the here's the speaker, he mainly feels it is just like a game. They both are playing a game, mainly because it is very difficult to maintain the balance, to keep the balance of stones which are not of a same size, which are uneven in their size, just like a game. And there is one in TV channel, there is one reality show, Super Minute, mainly hosted by Mungaru Malai Ganesh. There one particular very famous common game to all the contestants, that is pyramid, the what we say, teacups or juice cups, they should be put in a structure of a pyramid. So that also, there also it is very difficult to balance still, and also within a minute they have to do all those things. They have to keep all those cups in a shape of a pyramid within a minute. That is very difficult. There also the contestants, they have to be very conscious, especially of time. That is a type of game. Here also the poet in the same, he also says, yes, we both are playing a type of game. Whether the speaker he likes it or not, still he wants to help the old man. That is mainly because of out of concern. Okay, the next portion going to be explained in the next class. And before that is going to get the video, please all of you open your book and just try to get the meaning, the critical analysis of this poem. Okay, thank you, take care.